This last census, we were 9,900, 9,500, okay, so not quite that way. So by the next census, I would assume that we will be over the 10,000, so we would go to the 5-person, but we would still stay the commission form of government. And so that would mean that we would still be over departments such as we are now.
And all of our council members are elected at large.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Brownsberger, what's your vision for downtown? What do you want to see happen there?
Well, we'd all like to see it come back to something vibrant. What I can tell you is that the downtown of 20 or 30 years ago, with retail businesses that existed like mine, they don't exist anymore. They didn't move out to they didn't move to the highway, they didn't move to some other town. They just disappeared. They don't exist in hardly anymore, that kind of retail. So, to bring back your downtown, it's gonna have to be focused more on service and entertainment things. And hopefully that's gonna start happening. Brett's done something wonderful with his, what's the name you collected? Okay. That's a great idea. We've got a brewery that's gonna be opening down there in a couple of months. It's gonna have to be focused on service rather than old style, small retail, in my opinion. We've still got some retailers down there, let's support them and support them the best we can. But that's just not what is happening. So many people think the problem is flooding. Flooding's a problem, but it's not the problem. We had, when the downtown was strong and vibrant, there was lots of floods. We cleaned up, we were open and going the next day. It didn't stop business. What hurt the downtown is the same thing that's hurt every downtown across our country. Small, independent retail shops like mine, they just aren't here anymore.
Mr. Gaspar, the city has continued its financial support for Monette Main Street. What more do you think the city can do to help the downtown business district? The downtown in general?
Sure, yeah. I think the best and only thing that a city government can do to promote the downtown is to make it so that there are no hurdles or no hindrances from businesses coming in. The city government does not control a business coming into any location, whether it's downtown or on a busy highway. But we certainly can do things with building codes or with if there was a crime issue in a given location. So those are the kinds of things that a city government can do, just to put things in place that are going to attract business from coming in. But ultimately, it takes people. Right? It takes individual investors to make that risk, take that chance, put a business in whatever location they choose, and hope their customers will come. So Mayor Brownsberger talked about the Cowork Collective. He talked about the brewery that's coming in downtown. These are individuals that took that chance. They saw a building that exists downtown, and they made it work. And they made it work working with the city government and the building codes and making sure that those buildings were shored up so that business could exist in that location. And now it's incumbent on all of us to be able to visit those businesses and make them thrive. Because as soon as you see one or two or three, more will come. But there are some buildings downtown that the city council actually just took some action on last month that was in very, very poor condition. The city had been working with the business owners, the building owners, for many years, for them, asking them to make the condition of that building better. We got to the point where we were ready to condemned the building. But the owner came through and said, no, please give us one more chance. The city council has given them that chance. So we have things in place where we can make sure that people understand that we are not looking to prevent anybody from opening their business anywhere, especially downtown. We want to promote downtown. We are promoting downtown. We do provide some funds to Monette Main Street, which is an organization that promotes downtown. I sit on that board, and I know the people that are working on a lot of those projects. The flower pots you see hanging from the light posts, that's Monette Main Street, so they're making improvements. They have a facade grant program where a building owner can invest some money into the front of their building, and funds will be matched by the Monette Main Street, so that that business owner, that building owner, can have that assistance to really spruce up that building at a much better level. So there are many, many things in place that the city does directly or indirectly to promote the downtown district, and that won't cease. You talked earlier about the flood mitigation and the opportunity that we passed up on, the city passed up on. 100% agree, and there are federal dollars that are still available where that still can happen, and that is something that City Administrator Weiner has been researching. So there is a commitment from this city council to make sure that the downtown business district remains.
Mr. Dillman, the dog park was conceived as an idea to draw people downtown. You've not supported that downtown concept. And some circles view that as a personality conflict rather than a concept objection. Could you explain your position?
The original dog park design was going to be placed on Front Street between Fifth and Sixth, thank you. However, when we made the agreement with FEMA for the buyout, it was not allowed to put a dog park there because we had agreed that that would be only green space and there'd be no buildings on it, and a fence was considered a building. So according to FEMA, we could not put it there. One of the alternates was to put it where the Monette Times and the parking lot is there, so it would still be close to the pavilion. We did look at that. I am personally not in favor of having a dog park right on Broadway. I would rather there be businesses on Broadway. We did offer 9th and Broadway, but we would prefer, I would personally prefer it to be here in the park.
Thank you. Mr. Burke, what do you want to see happen in Monette's downtown?
If you've been over to Neosho recently, and you go down to Cedar Square, 6 years ago, there was nothing down there. Now, on each side of the square, you got something. You've got a brewery down there. You've got East Side Cafe. I don't know if any of you have ever been in there. So there is a downtown that is recovering and on its way. And if you want to see something complete, go down to Rogers, Arkansas, or go to Bentonville, Arkansas. That's where I see us going long term. Now, there are special dollars out there in the way of grants you can get to help with your downtown. In December, Aurora got a grant to revitalize their downtown. So there is money out there. You can get some of the buildings. If you get them on the historic register, there are different issues with codes. Other cities have figured it out. We can too.
If I may, I'm sorry, I need to just respond to that. This is not a debate, and this is a respectful response. I don't disagree with the Neosho comparison. I don't certainly disagree with Rogers or I believe you said Fayetteville or Bentonville. Sorry.
There you go.
Much larger cities. Okay, Neosho has a population of close to 10,000. We all know what Northwest Arkansas looks like. So there's a lot of population, there's a lot of people that will support a business, and there's a lot of people that will spend that money and invest into those locations. I absolutely am supportive of downtown Monette, absolutely supportive, but it takes people to do that. Absolutely takes people.
Ms. Perez, what do you think can be done with downtown? Do you see potential for making it a retail district again?
Oh, I see a great potential downtown. I think something that could be done as well, because I have heard that a lot of the buildings downtown are not necessarily vacant. They do have owners, they just haven't figured out what to do because of many not being able to get their buildings up to code. As they mentioned, there is a lot of possibilities for grant funding. We do have Main Street who has applied for funding to help with the facade, right, at the front of some of these buildings. I do believe, from a city's perspective, if elected, hiring an economic development director would help in this area, simply because I believe that a lot of the business owners may have had a vision at one point in time. They just don't have a plan at the moment, so they don't know how to make it effective. They don't know where to go from here on out. If presented with a plan and also the resources or on when to get or where to get started, or maybe where to get some help and funding with the collaboration, of course, from the city as well, I do believe that the downtown could be vibrant again. And the current owners, if they're not able to get it up to code, or they don't necessarily have an interest for a business per se, then maybe they can pass it on to other individuals within the community or maybe outside of the community to take over and take a chance in those buildings to bring in new businesses, new eateries, new entertainment, as mentioned. We need to have this downtown revitalized. We cannot let it die. It's full of potential, and Monette, like we said, it needs the buy-in of the community. So if we have the support, I'm pretty sure other things can happen, but definitely providing those owners with a business plan, with a vision and resources on where to go from here, I believe there would be a possibility for greatness downtown.
Mr. Brownsberger, what can the city realistically do to help out the housing shortage?